Welcome to Tenacity with Sonia C, the podcast where entrepreneurs, founders, and ambitious professionals come to learn from those who have walked the path, navigating challenges and achieving success. Whether it's thriving in business, pivoting, scaling for growth, fundraising, or finding work-life balance, dealing with loneliness, adversity, or overcoming personal struggles. Our guests share the insights and strategies that have empowered them to level up. I'm your host, Sonia, and let's get started. My guest today is Trish Mock. Trish is the founder of GOOD PSYCHE, a brand rooted in the power of mushrooms, medicinal plants, and holistic healing. Trish's journey started on her mother's medicinal herb farm in Western New York, where she developed a deep connection to traditional plant medicine. With a passion for demystifying natural healing, she's built GOOD PSYCHE into a brand that educates and inspires people to explore the transformative power of nature. But entrepreneurship is never just about the idea. It's about the grit, the struggles, and the moments that test you. In this episode, we'll uncover how Trish turned her vision into a brand, lessons learned along the way, and how she managed it all while staying true to her mission. Hi, Trish. Welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to get into this conversation and walk through your entrepreneurial journey. Before we get into everything I've prepared, can you tell us a little bit about what is your business, what does it do, and what inspired you to start?
Sure. So GOOD PSYCHE is a well beauty brand and beauty and wellness with 3 products. And we really emphasize medicinal plants and herbs. So you asked where the brand was inspired. It was inspired by my mom's medicinal herb farm here in upstate New York. She is a wealth of knowledge about holistic medicine. She's a board certified herbalist. And so she was really the impetus and inspiration for creating GOOD PSYCHE.
Right. So GOOD PSYCHE is deeply tied to nature and holistic healing, like you mentioned. When did you first start developing formulas? And did you envision building a business or did it grow organically from your curiosity?
I definitely envisioned building a business. I was working in tech at the time, and I was looking for the exit from that career path. So I definitely saw it as a business. I started product development in early 2022. And
hmm
if you are familiar with CPG or, beauty products, wellness product development, they take a very long time. You have to go through multiple iterations of formulas and testing. And so we really worked on these formulas for a year and a half before
hmm
they were ready to be released.
Right. And so tell us a little bit about the products. They're built from mushrooms, correct?
So they're built from medicinal plants and herbs. We do have a mushroom that we highlight in our face mist. The
Mm,
mushroom in our face mist is called snow mushroom or tremella mushroom. And it's really known as the beauty mushroom because it's super hydrating, very nourishing for your skin. And it dates back to ancient China, where the great beauties of ancient China used it and were revered for their complexions. So that is our star mushroom in Glisten Up, which is the face mist. The other 2 products focus on, like I said, medicinal plants. So
mm,
the mouth spray that we have is called Sidekick, and it is a mood enhancing mouth spray. So it
oh,
really spotlights 2 primary ingredients. They're called Kanna, and the other one's called Schisandra, and they're both plants. Kanna is a succulent, and it has been used for millennia for all sorts of emotional and cognitive health purposes. It's got some incredible just general wellness
hmm
benefits to it, like increasing stamina, suppressing thirst and appetite. But then, in terms of your emotional health, It's been known and shown to improve your mood, your outlook, your perspective. We refer to it as optimism in a bottle. So that's a really interesting one.
So, entrepreneurship isn't just about passion, it's about resilience. Can you share a moment when you felt like giving up and what pulled you through?
So many moments where I felt like giving up. I think that, well, I'll share some specifically. So, one of them was just hitting a point of burnout, like
Mm-hmm.
so many entrepreneurs do, where I felt complete overwhelm and wasn't sure how I would continue to carry this on my back. Um, there's also a feeling of being very alone sometimes when it comes to this,
Mm-hmm.
like if you don't have a co founder. And so I felt that a lot in the first year of just being very isolated and thinking, is this worth it? Is this worth me sacrificing my mental health? And I have other friends who are wellness founders, and one of the things we talk about when it comes to um, our our journeys is that the irony of being a wellness founder is often that you forsake your own well-being
Mm-hmm.
for the brand, and building the brand. And so I think in those moments in particular, it was very easy to kind of look back at my former life and think, man, that was easier to just have like a regular paycheck and have, everything covered and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
there are lots of those moments, but the way I handle it is really considering what I want my ideal day to look like. And my ideal day is not working for somebody else. It is not um, working in going back to my old career in tech. And it's really the freedom that entrepreneurship buys you, where, yes, you might work harder and uh, longer hours than you did before, but it's more rewarding because it's your own. And I just
Mm-hmm.
kept reminding myself, like, this is normal. These obstacles are normal. Every founder goes through these types of things. And if I just keep putting one foot in front of the other, I will continue to move forward. It's this notion of just keep moving, like don't be
Mm-hmm.
stagnant. And that's what gets me through those times. Just keep moving, don't be stagnant.
Right, right. But bringing an idea to life is one thing, but building a brand that resonates with people is a completely different thing. What were some of the hardest lessons you learned while turning Good Psyche into a real tangible brand?
Um, Lots. I think that it's very important to keep blinders on to an
Mm,
extent, because it's so easy to look around at what other founders are doing, what other brands are doing, and think, why are they moving faster than me? Or why did they get more, likes on their content than Good Psyche got? And it comes to a point where I just had to say, this is my path forward. This is the way that I'm doing it because it's authentic to me and the brand.
mm,
And I can't, you can't play the comparison game because it'll just drive you insane. And I think one of the best moves I made in that way is moving from Austin up to this small town in New York. It just completely
oh.
changed the game for me, my lifestyle, bringing the brand home, so to speak. So, yeah.
But you said you were in tech and then all of a sudden you went into like a completely different space, two different things. So you're building a product that you're passionate about, but running a business is a very different thing. There's all these different components to it, financial, marketing, everything. How did you go from, having a 9 to 5 to all of a sudden having to run all of this?
Clumsily. It's a very clumsy transition. Like I think
Mm,
it is for most people. I really sought out mentorship in that
okay.
first year, or what I would call year zero, like pre-launch, I actually heard this guy being interviewed on a podcast called Los Angeles. And he was talking about his brand incubator, where they help brands with all sorts of things, like what you were just mentioning, the
Mm-hmm.
marketing, the strategy, and so on, the branding. And I hunted him down and reached out to him and I said, hey, I'm not an influencer. They primarily only work with influencer brands. And I said, but I have this idea and I think you'll really like it. And so he was like, okay. So I basically pitched them and we ended up working together and we still work together. It's been almost 3 years that they've been with me. They are fantastic and they have helped tremendously
Mm,
with like supply chain operations. I mean, when you're shipping things overseas, you're dealing with tariffs, you're dealing with all sorts of things that the average person has no idea about. And I didn't
mm-hmm.
either. And that really got me through, especially kind of laying that groundwork for the infrastructure of a business.
That's so interesting you say that because like that's you have to do the research sometimes and I think the best thing for a founder is when they realize that they can't do it all and they need help. And what you just explained is like a perfect example of that. You're like, I'm that's not my area of expertise. I need help. And I think it's funny that like you found someone you really like and you chased them down.
Yeah. Yeah, we still laugh about it to this day because I think I messaged him on like 3 different platforms until he
Mm,
responded to me. And I'm still their only non-influencer client that they work with, but I think they really enjoy it, and I think that's important too, is to find people so that you're not alone out there in the
mm,
woods as a founder. Find people who really believe in you
yeah,
first and foremost. The product, the concept, the brand is secondary. They
yeah,
have to believe in you first and foremost because let me tell you, the brand evolves. The products go through iterations. Some products
mm,
may succeed, others may completely bomb. And you they have to know that they'll stick by you because they believe in you and they know that you're
hmm,
resilient and will continue to come up with good ideas.
yeah.
So we work really well together and it's just been a total blessing. Yeah.
Love it. How important is personal branding for you at this point?
It's more important now than it ever was before. I think I
Mm,
was in denial for the first 2 years of like, I can have a brand and kind of be behind the scenes, right? And I just don't think that's the case
mm,
anymore.
yeah,
There are so many faceless brands out there. I mean, look at the big ones like your L'Oreal, your Estee Lauder, like those are pretty much faceless brands. Yeah, they get like celebrity endorsements, but they're faceless brands.
mm,
And I don't think that's possible anymore for smaller indie brands and startups. You have to have a face to bring authenticity, to bring a real voice to the brand and to share the messaging, you
yeah,
know, especially Good Psyche, because our brand is so much around our story and the fact that it was born on the farm, the fact that I've returned to the farm, that I'm living this small town lifestyle. Like I embody Good Psyche and I very much am the ethos of the brand,
yeah,
which is difficult as a founder because when there's very little separation between you and the brand, every failure the brand experiences, you also experience as like a
yeah.
personal failure. So you have to have like I'm establishing boundaries with it.
Yeah.
Boundaries, but yeah, absolutely. I have to be the face of the brand and it's definitely more important now than ever because I'm finally here and I can actually
Hmm.
show people this amazing place and what we do and the surroundings And I couldn't do that from Texas. So
Yeah.
that's a very exciting part of it, but it does mean me being in front of the camera more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also, you've had to like change your life. Not only did you didn't just move houses, you moved from a different state. So how has that affected your family and your personal life?
Immensely, in mostly positive ways. My poor boyfriend had just moved to Austin like 18 months, and he had moved from London.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, and he was like, "Ah, nice, warm, sunny Texas." And then I was like, "Hey, do you want to
By
move
the
to
way.
upstate New York?" So he was a good sport about it. It did take a little bit of convincing, but since we've been up here, which has been almost 9 months now, I don't think either of us have looked back. It is
Mm,
so pleasant, and I had so much fear and trepidation about leaving a city where it was so buzzy, there was so much going on, and there were events constantly, and it was like, go to this meetup and that meetup, and I was so afraid that I would have FOMO all the time,
mm,
and that hasn't been the case at all, which I think is pretty amazing and really speaks to how in need of community we are. And I
yeah.
think that a lot of times in these certain settings or cities, we sort of role play community, but it's not real. It's like a little
Mm,
bit of a facade. And when we got back here, I've had experience after experience where I just am like, these people are incredible. They show up for you, they are
mm,
neighborly. You know, I was trying to hang lights on, I run a little apothecary in which I sell Good Psyche products and my mom's herbal products. And I was trying to hang up lights for the holidays outside, and I was struggling with it. And one of the police officers was driving by at the time, and he was like, "Hey, Trish," pulls over. He's like, "Let me help you," and like helps me put the lights up. We
mm.
had a guy roll up on a snowmobile recently, and he not only plowed our driveway for us, but he also was like, "Hey, can I tap your maple trees?" And here handed us
What?
a giant jar of maple syrup that he had just made. And I was like, I didn't even know we had maple trees, but yes, absolutely. So, like, there's just little things like that that you don't get in a city, and it really does calm your nervous system.
Mm,
Like, a lot of my anxiety symptoms and stuff like that went away after, leaving Austin, and it's just been so good, and obviously, my mom is thrilled to have me back here because, 1, I can help a lot, and 2, you know, we're just closer than we've ever been. I've
mm,
never been close to her since I've been an adult,
right.
like, lived close to her. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's been a very positive experience so far. That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
So, mushrooms and plant medicine can still be misunderstood. How have you navigated education and educating your audience while also challenging skepticism?
Yeah, that's a great question because it is definitely a challenge. I think that a lot of people have become familiarized with obviously CBD, even functional mushrooms, but medicinal plants and herbs are just starting to peek out from
Mm-hmm.
behind the door. And, you know, a lot of them have very unrecognizable names, or they're plants that you wouldn't see every day walking through your neighborhood. And so there's an element there of having to build trust and having
Mm-hmm.
to build understanding that these things are safe and that they're effective. And so one of the things that I've found to be most helpful is number one, events.
Mm,
I did a ton of events because it allowed me to be face to face with customers or potential customers, answer all of their questions, make them feel more comfortable, and get to know what their hesitations or concerns were, if any. And I think that when it comes to like people that I can't reach in person, I wrote a blog and called the Good Journal. And I use that blog as a way to deliver that information and education. And I think
Mm,
people appreciate that too, because there's something about being able to read about it and click reference links and see photos of what you're talking about and really get like the whole picture.
mm,
So it's challenging, but I think, if I can't chat with you in person, then I try to reach you with my blog and my email newsletter. Um, and yeah, and like a lot of collaborations with other brands too, honestly.
mm. Okay, yeah, that's good. The wellness space is competitive. What's been your approach to standing out while staying true to the brand's values?
The most interesting thing about Good Psyche, in my opinion, is our story, my
Mm-hmm.
story. And that's something that no other brand has, is a story like mine. You know, every brand is unique in that way. Some brands don't really have a story at all. But um, I think ours is very grounded in the farm, in my relationship with my mother, in her knowledge of traditional medicine and herbalism. And the place itself where we are is extremely beautiful and scenic. And so
Mm-hmm.
being able to not just tell people about our story, which is unique, but also to show them this place that like most people couldn't even picture, like without us being able to show it to them, is really, really special. And it really resonates with people, because I can't tell you how many folks I've talked to who say like, oh my gosh, it's my dream to be able to move out to a farm. I want to have a hobby farm. I want to have an herb farm. I want to, I want goats. Like the amount of people who want goats is incredible. So people really resonate with this lifestyle, but it might be very far, like not out of reach necessarily, but just very far from where they are now.
Mm-hmm.
So to see it through our brand, I think is fun for a lot of people.
Yeah, I like that. As a founder, you wear many hats, I'm sure. What's one part of running a business that no one prepared you for, besides everything?
Oh, okay. This one for sure. Nobody prepares you for how costly everything is.
Mm,
Everything. Like I went into it thinking, okay, I might have to raise some funds at some point, but I can probably get through the first year, 2 years, or 3 years. And I've managed to do that. I did a small round of family and friends funding, but otherwise have been self-funded. But it has been a bear. I mean, creating physical goods is
hmm
extremely expensive. You're talking about thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of units of packaging that you have to purchase. You're talking about custom formulations that you have to go through labs to create. You're talking, every round of testing you have to get costs money. Shipping freight across overseas costs a lot of money. Just
hmm
everything is very expensive. And so I think it's good that I went into it with some naivete, because if I hadn't, then I probably wouldn't have tried, because I would have
Yeah.
been like, oh my God, there's no way I could ever pull that off.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. I mean, sometimes it's better to like when you're in the trenches and you're like, oh crap, I don't want to do this anymore, but now I have to because I'm in it, right?
Yeah,
Versus
exactly.
versus
Exactly.
knowing what, ahead of time, then oh, now I'm not even gonna bother. But then you wouldn't have your brand, right?
Yeah, and I think I wouldn't trade this experience, even though it has been extremely, it's high risk. It
Mm-hmm.
is daunting. It is exhausting. It's a lot of things. But I like to think about it this way, is that my worst day with Good Psyche is still not as bad as my worst day at Amazon.
Wow.
You
Wow.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Damn.
So, and
That's a
which
big
the
statement.
irony which the irony is still because what most founders, right? We think, "I'm gonna quit these golden handcuffs, I'm gonna leave them behind, I'm gonna leave corporate, and I'm gonna work for myself and have freedom." And then we do that, and you end up working harder, longer,
Longer.
and you're poorer than you've ever been. So, it's just funny, but I wouldn't trade it. It feels good to build something, but it's not for everyone, that's for sure.
Yeah. And where do you see your company in the next 5 to 10 years? What's your goal?
My goal is to bring Good Psyche into more retailers. I am really looking for interesting, partnerships when it comes to retail. I
Mm,
think I wanna get a little bit more non-traditional in that sense. And, if when you first start a brand and you have a beauty product, you're thinking like, my goal is to be in Sephora. But after a couple of years, I've come to realize that a lot of these places that everybody deems to be the pinnacle of retail have their own problems,
mm,
and they're not as shiny as you may think they are at the start.
yeah.
And so I'm really focused on, especially coming from being in the small town now and kind of maintaining that small town feel for the brand. I'm really looking for more boutique specialized retailers to expand into. Um, and then I also, this is kind of a side note, but I recently, as I mentioned, moved into a new home, and it is a historic home that we're renovating. It's really exciting. It's very beautiful, but it's also going to be the site of a lot of well beauty events for Good Psyche. And
Mm,
so I'm looking to continue expanding those well beauty events over the next 2 years, bringing in other creators and other wellness providers. So having someone come in and conduct sound baths, breath work
mm,
sessions,
yeah.
yoga, all sorts of things to really just create this environment of well-being and well-beauty and incorporate the products into that. So this space is more than just a home. It's really like a community gathering space and a community building space. And so that's what I want
Mm,
to continue to do and expand upon when as I expand the brand. And my North Star would be in, you know, 2 to 3 years, I'm hosting just epic events here on the property and having, 100 people come to them and experience well beauty. So,
love it. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like you have, your well beauty and you're going to be incorporating an experience with it.
Yes, and experiences are huge. With our brand, especially with the mouth spray sidekick, it has been a really beneficial tool for people to use right before they do a meditation, do a sound bath, do yoga, because it really
Hmm.
helps you drop in, be more present, experience feelings of empathy and joy and connection. So that's a really beautiful one to integrate into an experiential setting.
Hmm.
And the mushroom mist, the mushroom facial mist called Glisten Up, has also been a really great feature for a couple of events that I've done. We've participated in mini facials. We've done little like refreshing spritz bars after hot yoga. And so that one, they're both just really good, like experiential products.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the goal.
That's awesome. I love it. Well, we're running out of time, but I just wanted to say thank you for joining me today. It was really nice to have a chat with you and have you walk us through your journey and what you're up to with your brand. If anybody wants to reach out to you or even purchase some of your products, can you tell us where they can go to get all that?
Absolutely. Our website where you can shop our products is seekgoodpsyche.com. And our Instagram handle is at goodpsyche_wellbeauty. And if you enjoy Substack, which I know a lot of people are starting to migrate over to, you can also find me on Substack, which is at Mall Talk by Trish Mock. And I talk a lot about small town living, about building the brand, about home renovation. And so it's really very personal. Talk about, personal branding.
Mm, yeah, that's awesome. Love it. Well, Trish, thank you so much again for joining and best of luck in the future.
Thank you so much.
I want to thank Trish for joining me today. From the roots of your journey on your mother's medicinal herb farm to creating Good Psyche, your passion for plant medicine and your resilience as an entrepreneur truly shine through. For anyone listening who's curious about holistic healing, mushrooms, or simply looking for inspiration to follow their own unconventional path, Trish's story is a reminder that passion, purpose, and persistence can lead to something truly impactful. And that's a wrap. To our listeners, thank you for joining me on this journey of learning, growth, and inspiration. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast on your favorite platform and connect with our community on social media. I'd love to hear your feedback, so leave a review and let me know what topics you'd want to explore in future episodes. Remember, the future belongs to those who embrace challenges, adapt with tenacity, and keep pushing forward. Keep growing, keep pivoting, and most importantly, stay tenacious in your pursuits. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to bringing you more insightful conversations in our upcoming episodes. This is Sonia signing off, but as always, keep chasing your dreams with tenacity.